Today we're going to be making curry puffs, and as usual we want to start off by weighing, just making sure my bowl is dry. Okay. 0.8. So I'll weigh the flour, but just save on time, I will prepare. So this is margarine. I'm going to heat it. Heats up my margarine. So this is the margarine. And some oil. While carry on a merry way. So I'll start off by sieving. I'll continue by sieving my flour. Onto tray away. Particles. Some rice powder, flour. Ice cold water. Literally, there's an ice block in here. Just dissolve a bit of salt. And this. With my top oil. Holy shit. So I'm good at it. Adding water. Good morning. So today we're making curry puffs. cold water. Dry parts. Okay. Here we go. The dough is coming together. I'm just kneading it. I'll just wet my hands because we're already getting there. So I'll just wet my hands and knead with it because it's just a little bit dry. But if I add so much water, I'll spoil it. So I'll just wet my hands and knead. Voila. So allow this to rest for 30 minutes. So cover and allow to rest for 30 minutes. Now going to set the timer and start off with spring roll wrapper. 30 minutes. It's morning my end and it's raining. The last day of October, the rains are ushering that day. We need spring roll. Also, spring roll is pretty simple, and we will use the wet method to make the spring rolls, the liquid, the brush method. The brush method, that is, you brush it into a wet pan. Now, I am not yet great at that method as well, so this is also a practice session. I'm always really curious what people's favorite pastries are. The last time, I think it was Alex Hernandez I spoke with. It's definitely Alex Hernandez. And he's told me he enjoyed pupusas. I would really like to recreate those. I looked it up and it needs to make pupusas. This is what they call massacre. It's basically made from brown corn kernels that have been cooked in an alkaline solution made of limestone. I think that of choice they use is limestone. I think I can source those. You cook it, then you dry the shell before you grind it into the flour. That becomes masa harina or massacre. The only issue now is the rains. It's still raining really frequently here. And if I dry my corn kernels and it rains, that's going to mess it up, right? But I also don't want to keep it indoors. I don't know what might happen. Is it going to dry properly? Is it going to introduce a weird taste into the massacre? Or the species? Using the brush method, my clean bowl here, I'm going to get my flour and the cornstarch. Since we're going to be using the brush method, that basically means in this non-skillet, I'm going to brush in the mixture I made, right? Then allow that to cook. Now, these methods, you have to be really quick with it. So you have to set up your working space in such a manner that when the rolls are done, you just wrap immediately and put into onto a tray, right? So let's do that. Let's set up our working space. So first we're going to mix our dough, then set it aside. Then I'll set up my working space. I'll put a tray here to wrap. I already have the filling. Then I'll put another tray to lay out the wrappers on. The first step, definitely to make the mixture. Okay, here we are. We have our flour. So we'll measure out 2 level cups of 5 level cups of all-purpose flour. Cornstarch. I've been looking for cornstarch. Sometimes what we look for is closer, much closer than we can imagine. I've been looking for cornstarch for the longest time. I was even thinking about importing from a different country because when I visited the economic capital, which usually has all those ingredients that I cannot easily source around me, I couldn't find it in the supermarket there. So I was like, either I need to go to the capital, which is much farther, and search there, and that time, or I'll just have to contact someone to get it from me, from another country. And all this time, you won't imagine, this thing was in a store that was just like 5 minutes away from me. And all I needed to do was just to ask someone like I asked people that I thought might have, but I needed to put like a public, I don't know, an announcement. That's what I did. I just put it on my WhatsApp status. It was a last ditch effort because I'd already contacted someone to get it from a different country. And I was like, you know what, it's not happening yet. Let me just ask on my status. And like 5 people responded to me. It reminds me of a video I watched that said we really don't need, like, what we actually need is more networks. The more people you know, the lesser your chance of having issues with this guy. And you guys, I feel like mad. So that really brought that home to me. You just need to know more people from different backgrounds than you. It helps you to be not as close-minded. And things you consider problems, you realize they're not really problems. So I went to love this fat girl because it doesn't like moisture at all. That's why I have it in brief. our parents belong to all these 1,000,001 weird associations. But now that we're older, we realize how important this is. Okay. So I'm going to take part of this mixture for my tray, right? To flour my tray, sorry, my rolling area and my tray when I'll be wrapping up the spring rolls. So this has not even mixed properly, so you can still really see the distinction. Let's go ahead again and mix. Really well. Yeah. So I'll use this to roll. Yeah. I always use a part. I don't know what's going to happen. Then I'm also going to press up to make it slim low. That will use to seal the spring rolls. So this should be okay. Then the rest of it we're going to add in some water. Now I learned this from the Live and Mom, and she advised us to add a lot of water at once, right? So since I'm close to my tap, I'm just going to do it that way. Okay? Right. No, I think this might not even have the required slices. I'll use any container that will add a lot at once. But I'm just going to use the container. Relax. This picture is that has some talk. Just stand as still. So this is it. I'm going to add a lot at once to this mix. She says if you stay add little by little, the higher chances of lumps being formed. Out a bit with some more water. I'm just mixing little by little at this stage. And that's why it's important to cut out some of this flour, so that if you thin it out, you have your mixture that you add. You don't need to start to add in dry flour because that will mess up your ratio. This is it. Now I want to incorporate it. This we're going to use the brush method to make the spring roll wrappers. Yeah, we're talking about a lot of the solutions to our problems lies in other humans, right? I watched this series and we find these wise words across different religions. So I watched this series and Nobody Wants This, and Rabbi Rukloff, basically in one of his sermons, he spoke about a parable in Judaism about a man who, I believe he was a flood, then he was on the roof of his house, and he kept saying, God will save me, right? So people came and were like, people came for help. I believe it said someone, if I recall correctly, a man came with a boat to save him, and he was like, jump onto my boat, and he was like, no, I believe in God, God will save me. Someone came with a helicopter. Basically, people came with different means to save him, and he kept saying, no, God will save me. Then he dies, and he goes to, and he meets God, and he asks God, why didn't you save me? And God said, I did. I sent you a helicopter, I sent you a boat. Yeah, so this is what I want. This is what I'm finding. This consistency. Yep, this I will be on my brush. So yeah, sometimes the miracles you are looking for in the extraordinary are found in the ordinary. And I say this also for myself, because we all like a bit of drama. But most times it's not like that. Like as we say, sometimes the voice of God is in the silent whisper, Abby. So sometimes the solution to our problem is just going out, touching grass, and meeting other people. And it also exemplifies for me in these ingredients for my spring roll wrapper. This is what brought out all this like. Because something I've been looking for months was just in the shop next to me. And if I had just asked earlier, I would have found them. But better late than never. So now I can get to make my spring rolls whenever I want. Okay. There we have it. Now, the process to make the spring rolls. Alright. I'm going to do this on low heat. So first I'll just this is the bottom of this here, right? My brush is there. Then, like I said, it goes by really quick. So I am going to set up the tray to move. To wrap our spring rolls. Then this one to put the wrap spring rolls in it. Then I'm going to take out my food. From the fridge. Well, then I'll just okay, so I'm just going without this in my head of the things I'll read. Okay. Sorry about that. Did I scare you? I almost tripped, so I screamed. Sorry about that. Okay, the flour to flour. This surface I'll use to wrap the spring roll. And so flour where I'll place the spring rolls. I just hate wasting ingredients. Who's the captain in the kitchen? Then I would also want to make the binding mixture, right? This is to make the binding mixture. So I'm mixing it with a bit of water, like I did with the dough. But I would want the water to be a bit thicker than the dough. And I did with the dough. Actually, using the hands is not as efficient as using this little whisk for this. Okay? This. So this reminds me to meet up with people. Like, you know, all this. Because not only could your solution be there, you could be the solution, right? For someone. like most of us go on to go for ex-student reunion or join. I just joined a club for a hobby to be party. No one will sue you. We're adults. Maybe a poetry club, a painting class. Just something that will make you to meet people that you wouldn't really normally meet in your daily life. This is also a challenge for me. It really is a challenge because given the way life is, you just want to go back home and rest. So what has happened is, in all that chaos of the balls falling right, let me see. Can I put this here for you to see? Yeah, I can. Okay. In all this chaos, some water dropped onto my surface, and this is supposed to be dry. If not, the screw is going to stick out and it's going to melt. We don't want that. We absolutely do not want that. So I'm going to add a bit more of this dry flour to it. If you're careful, you wouldn't need to do this, but I tripped, so it's fine. See? This is saving us now. Actually, the best way to sieve this out, just use initially. To flour your surface, actually, the best way is to sieve it. Right. It's an honest clean this kitchen after. You just sieve like onto the surface, so it's going to fly evenly, and you don't have a lot of crumbs sticking onto. Which I forgot that this is the best way to do it. But no, I do that. So the advantage of this one is, you see the way here it's clumpy. When you fly it, it's more evenly spread. So all this time, and while you wrap one spring off, and pick up the skin in the line. Okay. Flour my surface. Well, there we go. Happen. I'm going to get a paper towel. The reason why I'm getting this paper towel is I just like to lightly, like very lightly, wipe some oil, right? I want the paper towel soaked in oil, right? Then I'll rub it around the fry pan. Okay. Just really light. For the first one, that's what I like to do. So I actually don't want to fry it with oil, but it helps for the first one, I find. We'll just wait for it to get a bit warm. So I'm putting my hand here to feel when it's warm. Better for the dog. So we are making spring roll wrappers. Spring roll wrappers. In a lot of these things, I just have in mind like the first one will likely be a miss. So I'm going to use 2 brushes. I'm going to use this brush and the other brush, right, to smooth out some of the surface. Then we'll also get a spatula. This will help us to carry it out of the pan, right? So yeah, it's ready, you see? And this is very so I'm going to move to the machine and immediately put it onto my flat surface, and I'm going with the other one. Meanwhile, here we are, the wrapping first. Just take the bit of the filling, right? Put it there. Then we have our cylinder too. See? Flatten out that filling. This thing, using the filling, is better if I use a brush. There it is, my first filling. So to save on time, so I'm quick, I'm just going to position the camera this way as we've seen how the first one is done. Right? I'll use a brush for my filling so I don't have to wash my hands continually. Wash my hands. There's a timer for a CURRYPUFF dough. Done. 30 minutes for the dough to rest out. Just going to put some of this. Hello, Brittany Shelton. Good morning and welcome to the live. I am making curry puff and spring roll wrappers this morning. And spring rolls, not just the wrappers. Okay. Good morning. I'm doing great. I'm having a busy morning making these spring roll wrappers. What time of the day is it your end and how are you doing, Brittany Shelton? Me, it's early morning, my time, and I started off by making these delicious snacks. Thank you, Queen. I'm glad to hear you're doing well. It's very important to do well. Do you like spring roll wrappers? Do you enjoy cooking? Bon après-midi. Oh, Alex Hernandez, bon après-midi. You're welcome back. You know, I was just saying earlier, I looked up the recipes for your pupusas, and I guess I'm still pronouncing the pronunciation, but you forgive me, right? And it requires masa habina, maseka, which we do not have here, right? Our corn flour we do not mix matter, but basically we don't cook it in a in an alkaline solution, right? Before grinding, we just grind it like that. But from reading up on how maseka is made, I found out when you boil it in that alkaline solution, that is, you boil the dried corn kernels with limestone, it releases some nutrients. So I'm going to do that. It was just, I think I'll wait for the dry season so I can sun dry the kernels. Right. But interestingly, we use limestone to make other dishes. I think I'll like it. It has everything. It has the makings of everything I would like. Oh, you've had Brittany Shelton, you haven't had spring rolls before. Really? Oh, you like it. Okay, let me just admit my bias. I think anything that has flour with a meaty or vegetable filling is a favorite. I think it's ice cream. Everyone will like it. But I think it's better than ice cream. Yeah, I definitely think I'm going to like pupusa. It has the makings of everything I like. I like corn. We use corn in a lot of our traditional meals. And it's a filled pastry, so I'll definitely like it. I think spring rolls are also called egg rolls. So I don't know where you are, but maybe you can buy it first and see if you like it before you try making it. I mean, not freshly made, you had it frozen. Oh, you had spring rolls frozen. Well, to be very honest, I don't think it makes much of a difference. I really don't think it makes much of a difference. I think the whole advantage of you making it yourself is that you get to customize it how you like, right? You put the spices according to your taste preferences. That's the advantage, I would say. But it takes time. Like you see here, we'll spend some time making this, right? But I'm going to freeze this as well because I cannot do this every day. So pretty much same. I'm going to freeze this everywhere, so when I'm craving some, I just take it out of the freezer and fry it. Actually, yesterday I fried some I had made on the previous day. Now this has started sticking to my pan. So when I take out this one, I'm going to pass my paper towel soaked in oil on the pan, right? Because now it started sticking to the pan and I'm going to wonder. Actually, I'm going to turn off the heat and pass this because the pan is getting a bit too hot. Frozen has additives, really? Huh, okay. I did not know that. It's not something we get frozen here. You'll need to buy it from someone who makes it. And usually people who make it, because it takes some time, so that it's always ready for when a command comes in. We usually make it like this, then we immediately freeze it, right? Because it's one of those things that when you're craving, you have to have it within at most an hour or two. If not, you just get something else. So we have to have it ready for whenever someone would want. Do you use egg or water to keep it close? I use the flour, right? The dough is made of a mixture of all-purpose flour and cornstarch with a bit of salt. So I took a bit of that and mixed in water to make a thick sealing paste. It's a bit thicker than the dough. That's what I use to seal it. So it's the same mixture I use to make the spring roll wrappers. And honestly speaking, spring roll wrappers, they intimidated me for the longest. And this is definitely like my fifth trial in making them. And I'm not yet perfect, but practice makes perfect, right? Why do they intimidate me? Because they're so thin. For it to be great, to be really nice, it has to be really thin so it's crispy. But getting it really thin also is a whole process. Now there's another method I'm looking to try to make the spring roll wrappers. That's the rolling out the dough. This one is kind of like the wet brush method. I want to use the dough where it's rolled out. I tried that over the weekend, but I don't have like a large flat pan, right? And I cannot rely, I don't want to do that in the oven since we can have a power outage at any moment. And I don't want to mess up my ingredients. So I tried doing it. I tried using my cast iron skillet. It's much smaller and the edges fuse together. So that was a fail. So when I'm able to source a large flat pan, we're going to do that other method and see. Okay. So this is the dough, right? This is the mixture. The flour. This is not dough, right? This is not dough. Is it? Is this dough? Almighty. Butter. Oh, I've messed this up. The pan was too hot. Let me see if I can save it. I'm going to put gently in the opposite direction. I can save this. Let's see, I can save it. I'll end up destroying this one. The pan also doesn't have to be too hot. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I tried to save it, but I've ended up making a wrapper that is too thick. Leave some. Alexia Nades, how are the Chinese lessons going on? You're still on. No, they aren't pancakes. They are spring roll wrappers. I believe they're also called egg rolls. So I'm making spring rolls. So I'm making the wrappers and immediately I put the filling and seal it. Because these wrappers cannot keep using the method I am using. So we need to wrap it up immediately, and if it's not eaten, I need to freeze it up. Because they can easily melt. Learning every day, eat more. That's good. That's good. When I was in primary school, that is, I believe elementary school, that's how you guys call it in the West. Primary school, one of my teachers, he told me that a secret to life is to make sure you learn a new word. Well, anyway, he told me a secret to English is to make sure I learn a new word every day if I want to be really good at English, right? And that this also applies to life as well. And I thought that was so easy. Why doesn't, like, that cannot be it? Because if that's it, everybody would do it, right? It did help me. It helped me really improve my grades in English language. Because every day I would open up a dictionary and try to learn a new word at that age. But now that I'm bigger, I realize it's so easy to just be, right? And not be intentional about learning something. But you're doing that, you're learning something new every day, you've put yourself in an environment that forces you to do that with a new language. So that's cool, that's really good. I should be more serious. You should. If you're saying it, then yeah, you know yourself. So what will you do to be more serious? Do you have like a study timetable, or maybe you want to find, I don't know, a community of people online who are learning the language? What do you want to do to be more serious with it? I've messed up this one. You know what, let's just I'll just cut this one. Then I'll douse my pan with some cold water. I turn off the heat to get it cold, but it's not cold enough. So I messed up my wrappers, but it's okay. I'll just bring it so that I'll put the temperature right down again. Then I'll put it back to pick up. I watch Chinese lives and movie music with traduction. Write down characters so symbols stay in my mind easier. Nice. That sounds like a plan. That does sound like a plan. So what do you think has the Asian grammar bug beating you in all your learnings? I think watching shows, entertainment shows, are also like a really good way to learn the language. in a situation where you cannot be immersed in an environment where the speaking, it really helps to know that. So yeah, you have a solid plan. I know because cartoons are what helped me learn French. I watched a ton of cartoons in French. You guys, what's going on? I started messing this up. Why? Whose village people are after me? Oh yeah, it's learning. It's learning. Okay. So it forms really quickly. Definitely, it will be better by talking with people for sure. But how are you going to do that? Where will you find people? Maybe you have colleagues. Maybe you have colleagues who, since you work in that domain, right? Or maybe the people at the opposite end, like your partners in China. Maybe you could speak to them. We always want to speak in our own language, right? So maybe if you like, I don't know if you have some sort of informal relationship. I don't know the rules, because like you say, you need a license to be where you are. So it shows you're in an area with a ton of rules. I don't know if it will be an issue if you speak in a language other than English. But if you have some sort of relationship with those at the end, you could sometimes start a conversation with them in Chinese, right? That's their language. You might be pleasantly surprised, and from time to time, maybe they speak to you in Chinese for simple conversations, then you pick it up from there. That could help. What do you think? What's in the egg rolls? I made a filling using ground meat, spices. For the spices, I've used curry powder, rosemary, thyme. Then there's some chicken seasoning and of course salt. Then there's onions in there as well as coriander and parsley with some potatoes. That's what's in the filling. The video for that, I also went on live for that, so if you want to see how it's made, you can check that out. This is what the filling looks like. I had kept it in the fridge so it tightened up a bit more. Why are you laughing? What's up? We are making spring rolls. Oh, it's like Brittany Shelton has left us. This is what it looks like, all wrapped up. I would really have wanted to know what my favorite snack is. So who knows? If I have the ingredients, I would have made that like her favorite filled pastry. Have you ever had egg rolls? What's the filling of your favorite egg roll, Alex Hernandez or spring rolls? Conversation goodbye. What's your feeling for your favorite feeling? Brittany Shelton, are you still with us? Please let me know. Oh, you only try it with vegetables. Oh. I like meat. I like meat. I'm not like. I will try the one with vegetables. Vegetables, they do have their own appeal. So I'll try that. But I'll definitely have to put something to introduce umami flavor because I think that's nice. When you bite into something crispy, then you have like some savory thing. So I'll try the vegetable one of these days. Actually, I had planned to also make a vegetable filling, right? But I ran short of time after making the meal prep. I had a ton of things to do over the weekend. So I didn't end up chopping the vegetables. So maybe another day. Another day, another dollar. Have you ever made the pupusas from scratch? Like, have you made the masa harina? Or have you ever been part of an environment where they make it? Yeah, better with meat. Everything is better with meat. Let me turn this around so the longer edge faces me. No. Okay. I would want to do that. Like, it's not even something we make, so it's just going to literally be me and YouTube. There will be no one around that I can go and watch practically. How it's done. And all the videos I watch that is traditional. But, oh, you never did it. Also, you just I envy you. That's the dream. But what's like your favorite thing to cook? Or do you even enjoy cooking? Let's start from there. Let's not assume, because I have siblings that the only way you catch them in the kitchen is literally if they're dying of hunger, and it's noodles. It's just noodles. Oh, chili. Why isn't it cooking? Chili is the one that you put like the beans and you slow cook, right? So why would that not count as cooking? Why do you think it's not cooking? Why do you think chili shouldn't count as cooking? You just throw everything in the pot. No, it's I think me so far as the ingredients is put in a pot. I even think salad is cooking. That one doesn't even involve heat. Chili, there's some transformation even going on, right? So it's definitely cooking. It's cooking. It's cooking for a different mood, but it's still cooking. Just want to flour my surface again because it's getting dry. But I hear you. Because here where I am, if you tell someone you can cook, right, and like the only thing you can make is rice, even if you're like cooking the rice proper, they're like, you cannot cook. They're like, you don't cook rice, you just put water and it boils. But rice has its peculiarities, especially when you learn about cultures that are big on rice, like Asians. There's different ways, there's different types, there's different methods, so it's a whole thing. But people look at it differently. If you can cook rice, yeah, like only rice, different rice dishes, but just rice, they're like, nah, you cannot cook, man. So I hear you, but also consider actually knowing how to cook. I've never made it. Oh, you buy canned corn, canned beans, frozen vegetables. Ah, okay, I see. No, all right, I see. I hear you now. That makes sense because you guys, the work schedule there, it's a lot. I don't really buy a lot of canned things. Honestly, I hear the health arguments, right? But honestly, I don't get it because it's much more expensive than the raw ones. Though the raw ones take you a longer time to make, right? So sometimes for convenience, I can get like one can. Like I've had one can of diced tomatoes in my pantry for months now, and I'm just keeping it for in case one day I wasn't able to shop and I'm out of tomatoes, I could use that. So I hear you, it's really quick and it could feel like it's not cooking because you just open through, then allow it to heat. But you made it, so you cooked it. What are my favorite ingredients that I put almost everywhere? Onions and garlic. Onion, like those aromatics. Madness. Onions and garlic. I would have added ginger, but there's a lot of dishes that ginger doesn't go into. But if I have to choose one, it would be onions, because a lot of our traditional meals, you do not use ginger and garlic in them, right? Actually, a lot of our traditional meals, the source of flavor is a stock from the meat. So like the meat or the smoked fish, some of them, the onions don't even go. Like my favorite meal, you don't use any onions or garlic. So what we use, a source of umami, is smoked dried crayfish, prawns. What do you call prawns? Crayfish. And I think that's in a lot of our meals, traditional meals, that's like the sauce. So I would say, just so everything is represented, onions, garlic, crayfish, smoked crayfish, yeah, I like it. Onion is a good choice for the croissant. It is red and white. I love onions, man. So we're making spring rolls. I find it very interesting how you makes sense you're from Canada. That's also a Cameroonian way of speaking. We mix languages when talking, right? So we call it franc-anglais. So we mix French and English and a bit of pidgin. Like you say, onion is a good choice for the cuisine. That mixture, that's also something Cameroonians in the urban areas will do. What about you? What are your favorite ingredients for eating? Because you said it's more of eating. It's just chili. Also, just can let me know what are your favorite ingredients for eating. We are making spring rolls. Hot. I would never have guessed. Pepe, really? So Scotch bonnet. Wait, do you mean like proper hot peppers, like Scotch bonnet, or like bell peppers? No, you say you like it spicy, so you definitely mean you'll feel right at home here. People eat pepper, they like spicy food. Personally, I'm not a huge fan when the food is too spicy because I cannot taste anything. My tongue just burns. But there's a minimal level of, like, we usually put at least one Scotch bonnet in our meals. You might not burst it, but just for the flavor. Ooh, let's bell peppers. Huh. So I'm sure your chili is very spicy, quite spicy. The chili you make. Oh yeah. Well, it's good Canada is cold. So you always stay warm with your meals. But one thing about peppers is, it also makes, when you need to use a toilet, oh my god, you will have an experience in there. But yeah, I get this stuff now. Like, funny enough, some of our parents tell us they ate lots of pepper growing up more as a means to conserve food, right? Because the food is very spicy. So when you're eating it, you will have to drink something, maybe water or cow milk. If you guys keep that, you would have to drink that, and then you get full faster because you're eating and you're drinking at the same time, so you feel full. I found that interesting. But now we use peppers kind of like to stimulate appetite. Did you grow up eating the spicy food? Like, did you build up your tolerance, or is something like as an adult you found you liked, you enjoyed? Yeah, yes, yes. Here coming when it's raining, people will make pepper soup. It's a craving we usually have when it's raining and cold. So it warms up your belly, and from there your whole body gets warm. So I can imagine someplace much colder where there's actually like snow. I'll definitely develop a liking for Scotch bonnet, for very spicy food. Okay. This one doesn't want to. This edge is small. Let's flip it this way, okay, so we can get more filling in. Oh, since you're younger, oh, okay. So you have a pretty high tolerance then. Some things you throw water outside, and I've heard the stories. Like immediately you throw the water, it just freezes. I really cannot imagine. Like anyway, we're humans who adapt to anything. But I like the warmth. Like I really like the warmth. If not for the dust and water shortages, the dry season will easily be my favorite season. I like the warmth, you guys. I like the sun. I like colors. When it snows, everything just looks gray, and it feels even from films, it just looks not as bright. I can just imagine throwing water and it gets. But you know what? Different environments will adapt no matter what. That's one thing about being human, right? We will adapt. Oh, I can imagine now how much you miss your home country. It's warmer there, right? I believe it doesn't snow in Central America. Yeah. Yeah, not so. Oh, another reason you wish you were born there. Oh, yeah, it's fine. Everywhere has its pros and its cons. And I believe everything happens for a reason, and everything works together for good. So there's a reason, and there's a good reason why you are literally in one of the freezers of the world and learning Chinese. Just trust it and do your very best. Don't worry. Be happy. Now you make I'll put Guatemala one of the places I look forward to seeing Central America, I guess, because even when I went like the rabbit hole of pupusas and the food, there's a lot of cooking there that is similar to some things we do. Like the whole idea of, there's this other one that they do like the corn, right? And they steam it with like the beans in banana leaves. We have one, though the type of beans is different. And we have one we make with corn and granules, not beans. Right, that's another region in Cameroon. But also steaming in banana leaves, definitely. We have one that is just beans steamed in the banana leaf. Then there's another that it's just the corn, fresh corn. Like just like immediately you harvest, the best way to make it, immediately you harvest the corn, preferably early in the morning, right? I do not know why early in the morning. Maybe the corn is at its sweetest there, or maybe it's because the meal takes a long time, so it has to be fresh corn harvested early in the morning. So usually people would even go before the sun rises at 5 or 6. You harvest the corn, then you scratch it, basically to remove the kernels. I'm looking for the English word. In Pidgin we say scratch the corn. The word doesn't come into mind. But remove the kernels, then grind it. In the past, we would just grate it, right? So the consistency is different. But now we have machines, so we grind it. Then you put in like palm oil, sliced cocoyam leaves, seasoning. Seasoning is basic, it's just salt. Some people add Maggi now. You can add a bit of Maggi. And that's cocky corn, fresh corn, cocky corn. Oh my goodness, it's so good. No snow. I wish I could hear the chicken I hear here. Where you stay, can't you keep a pet? Maybe you can keep a chicken. You guys keep chicken as pet. You could hear that chicken crowing. That means the sound is really good. Yeah, those are some of the free alarm clocks we have. Honestly speaking, this spring roll is a matter of practice, right? But if you see some areas are thick, some areas are thin, ideally I want everything to be more on the thin side, right? So it's really crispy. But we'll get there. With more practice, we'll get there. Voila. I really like the taste of this particular filling. Just thinning out the pastry dough again. Hello, I'm making spring rolls. Please, if you join in and you like spring rolls and pastries and this tutorial, do drop me a like. Please drop a like for the live. I believe it does help for the algorithm. So I was just thinning out a butter a bit. I find with time it gets thin again, thicker. So I'm thinning it out and mixing it again before I continue with the spring rolls. And this is just in time because the pan had gotten too hot. This spring rolls will make it on low heat for the brush method. For this method I'm doing, you want to do it on low heat. If you pour the liquid like pancakes instead of brush it, no, it will be thick, right? It will be thick. If I pour it like a pancake, it will be thick, and if I pour it then quickly brush it out, the area where I pour it will have a thicker diameter, right? Because as it sets, it starts forming, right? It will have a thicker diameter than the outer edges that have been brushed out. So that wouldn't work. This actually, I've tried that. I tried using, I remember the very first time I tried using a spoon. I used this spoon actually, right? I carried the butter, I poured it in, and I quickly brushed it out. It doesn't work. And if you just pour it to have it like a pancake, it's thick. It's too thick. And for spring roll, you want a thin wrapper, a thin even wrapper. I haven't yet gotten the even, but I've gotten the thin with this method. So I'll take it and keep practicing. From the person who shared this method, she got the thin, so I know it's doable. You want it thin so it's crispy when you deep fry it. That's why we're going through all this whole process. That's the point of going through all this process. So this is the butter. I just lightly brush on the pan. Also, you need to be quick with this. I'm still building up my speed, but yeah. Forms quickly. Yeah, that's how thin I want it to be. Do you know what I just thought of? Do you know how cold it is? That means you definitely don't hear birds chirping for months. And like, I'm just going to stop. I'm not really trying to rub it in. You have perks. You do have perks. I guess you've never had the power outage. Think about that. That's great. I have my birds. You have your stable services. So everywhere has its perks and its cons. But then I'm sure that areas where you can have the best of both worlds. Probably working towards that one, all of us. That's my alarm. Oh, yeah. That means it's already 7 a.m. Yeah. And we still have curry puff to make. Yeah, the end time now. Sure, I'm not going to fill this so it doesn't crack. Yeah, it's 7 a.m. 7 a.m. now. You can hear my alarm bearing from the other room. So it's 7 a.m. It's 7 a.m. What time is it your way? Oh, vous avez dit bon après-midi. That means it's probably early afternoon, right? You see the issue with talking about internet? It's like you jinx it. When you talk about it, it's like you remind them like, oh, we have not messed up their connection for a while now. That's why I always jokingly say, oh, don't talk about us having power today. They're going to take it. They're going to take it away now, because it's like you remind them that, oh, we haven't taken power today. I just spoke about the advantages there for you despite the cold, and boom, my internet starts messing up. Oh, at what time did I wake up? Early, but I want to watch Chinese live, and they are 12 hours ago. I assumed it was 2 p.m. for you. And no. Yeah, I have to wake up early. Actually, I like mornings. That's my favorite time of the day. I like watching the sun rising. I like the fresh, clean morning air. I like the quiet of the morning. I think last time you said you prefer the night, that less annoying people around. But I'm more of a morning person, especially the early hours of the morning. And if you make snacks, you have to wake up really early, because this kind of snacks, people have it very early in the morning, right? Usually people will buy this type of snacks in the morning, early in the morning. So yeah, it's my preference, plus what I was doing, it works best early in the morning. Early in the morning or the evenings, that's when lots of people buy snacks. You can sell it throughout the day. If you're in an area with a lot of young people, like in a school, right? Yeah, they'll buy irrespective of the time of the day. But yeah, I like mornings. Ooh, you always see the sun rising and when it goes down. Yeah. That means you're a morning person as well. Or maybe you're all the time of the day person. Baby girl, good night. You guys, the internet is trying with us, but How is the family today? Yeah, everyone is good. Everyone is good. They're yet to wake. They'll be waking up shortly. What about your siblings? Do you guys stay around the same area? You did say you have 5, yes. Look at what we did. Good work, eh? Now I need another shoe. And I'm out of trays. Let's shelve this, okay? Let's move on to the curry puffs. Curry puffs. Oh, you rarely see each other. Oh, do they stay in the same country? Oh, the same province, or it's just scheduled? Do you guys all live in the same area? It's just more of a time issue, not a distance issue. Like the time to meet because of work. So this is a curry dough we have. It has rested. We had to rest it for about at least 30 minutes. We ended up, since we're doing our spring rolls, we ended up taking longer than that. So now I want to set up a wok surface. So the curry dough, so I'll use my chopping board, then my mat, so we can all see what we're doing. Okay. Alright. This is not even, this is not. I want to weigh this out. I brought the weighing machine, so I have roughly equal balls. So I'm just going to lightly make this again. So I want to have, honestly speaking, to be very honest, I weigh these most of the time since it's kind of like for business. But at this point, I'm looking at the time. I don't have a lot of time. So I just want to cheat and estimate. But let's see. That's to be 25 grams. These things are really small. Very small balls. Yep. See how small 25 grams is. So that's what we want, 25 grams. And I put it back in that bowl and cover. Okay. It's 33, 20, 25. need to check on someone. Come on. All right, no problem. All right. We are now making the dough for the curry puffs. So I am measuring it out into 25 grams each, so we have equal sizes. So I cut it and I have a measuring machine right here that I am using. So after measuring this out, we are going to put in the filling and then fry. So let me know where you're watching from and what your favorite thing to eat is. If you like filled pastries, you are definitely in the right place. You guys, I just noticed like a line. Oh yeah, across my screen. It's like my phone has an issue now. Here as well. I wonder if you can see the line as well. One or two step. 25-gram balls. I need to work really fast so this one doesn't dry out. Actually, let me cover this. Right, let me cover this with the back of this cup so it doesn't dry out. Okay. When working with this, we need to cover it so it doesn't dry out. That's why I keep putting this. Hello, good day. No matter the time of the day you're having, we are making curry puffs. We have a saying here, whatever you're going through, no matter how hard it is, make sure you eat first. Everything is better when you face it with a full stomach. So this is one more thing you can use to have a full stomach. It tastes really good. So I'm cutting my dough into 25-gram balls. This is a Shenom recipe. Chenom. This is her recipe. I really hope this line is not from my device. If not, I'm going to develop such a bias against Samsung devices. And I hope it doesn't bother your viewing experience as well. I hope it's just from my end. So good morning, or good whatever time of the day you're having. We're making curry puffs. We started off by making our dough using some all-purpose flour, a bit of rice flour, some salt, margarine, oil. We allowed that to rest. You should allow it to rest for about 30 minutes. I did longer than that, but it's fine. And now I'm just portioning my dough, right, into 25-gram balls. So everyone has a fair bite. Okay. So I cut out from this dough, I measure and I form into balls. And I put in a covered bowl because this dough doesn't like the empty air. It gets dry. It dries out pretty quick. So you always want to keep it covered. We have come to the end. Okay. So this one's will be bigger than the rest because the last one would not be enough. So for a 25-gram bowl, and better you have more than that. You don't have enough, right? Okay, so we have all our doughs formed now. So the next thing would be to roll our dough into circles. So I'm going to make my rolling pin. If I can just find where the left seeds left this time around. Oh. Is this my rolling pin? Oh, yes. Okay. My rolling pin. Although for the filling size, just scoop up the filling. That's what we'll make, right? So here we have it. We are done with this. So I'm just going to put this in the sink. Then I have my rolling pin. Behind this. Then our filling. This is the filling which I had pressed and kept in the freezer. Sorry, in the fridge. Just kept it in the zipper. Okay. Let's see. It's the first time I kept it in the freezer after cooking. Okay, so my bowl, I fasten it out. Once. As well on the surface, yeah, so it doesn't stick on my hand. So I'm going to just make these into so here we have it. put my mixture here. Plenty amount of this. I close, press down. Because we don't want this opening up in the fire. Okay. So this is what we have. This is the first curry puff. Feeling. Moving off the page, I'm having difficulties closing this one. So we're going to reduce the size of the film so it doesn't burst in the oil. And the oil generates film. Get to this step. Flatten this up. You see? Started bursting already because it's too full. I need to put smaller portions with the fill. See this. Okay. There's learned. Next. So it doesn't burst open. I have, my data is running out, so I'm going to end this and put another bundle and we continue shortly.